Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We have reached Hadith number 19 from Al-Arba'un al-Nawawi, the Hadith book that was compiled by Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah. We have come to a Hadith that is very important in our life, from our day-to-day life to our mindset, to our emotions. Sometimes we be stressed about things, and this is a very important hadith where even the scholars, they mentioned the one who does not remember or the one who does not apply this hadith or think about this hadith is as if he has lost many things in his life. And Al-Abbas, Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma, the Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma, he narrates from Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he was a young man at that time. He says, كنت خلف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, that I was behind Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam while we were traveling. فقال يا غلام إني أعلمك كلمات, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he called him يا غلام, oh boy, I would teach you some words and preserve these words. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when he calls someone and he says these things, it is very important that he's going to say something very important or very sincere after that. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said something that is very important. He said, احفظ الله يحفظك, preserve Allah's rights on you, Allah will preserve you. احفظ الله تجد تجاهك, if you preserve Allah's right, Allah will definitely guide you in the right path. You will find the right path. إذا سألت فاسأل الله, if you ask anything, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وإذا استعنت فاستعن بالله, if you ask or seek for help, seek from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. واعلم أن الأمة لو اجتمعت على أن ينفعوك بشيء لن ينفعوك إلا بشيء قد كتبه الله لك. وإن اجتمعوا على أن يضروك بشيء لم يضروك إلا بشيء قد كتبه الله عليك. رفعت الأقلام وجفت الصحف. رواه الترمذي. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he continued on, he said that know very well that if this entire ummah, the whole Muslim nation, if they were to get together, or the entire of the world were to get together to help you in something, and if Allah has not written that for you, you will not be helped. And likewise, if the whole of this earth gets to harm you, but Allah has not written that harm for you, and if Allah protects you, you will not be harmed, not even a single bit. رُفِعَتِ الْأَقْلَامِ, Allah has wrote what He has wrote, and the pens are lifted from the book. And وَجَفَّتِ الصُّحُفِ, and the papers or the suhuf has dried. And this hadith of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam teaches us a very important subject. Sometimes we go through things in life where we go through, hard times, when we go through stress, where we be like thinking and we break our head in terms of things. For example, sometimes we think about our secureness, or sometimes we think that someone else might oppress us. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught us the medicine, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always has given us the solution. And this is the best solution that we can have, that is always we make sure that we fulfill the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded us and made it obligatory upon us. We make sure we don't miss the salah, we make sure we don't miss zakat, sawm, hajj, and we stay away from things that are haram. We try our best to make sure that we fulfill the obligations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we do that properly, Allah will preserve us. And these are the words of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. These are the words of the Sadiq al-Masduq, the most truthful of the truthful. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said this, and we have to have Iman in this. If you feel scared for yourself, check few things. Am I fulfilling my obligation towards Allah? Am I making sure that I am praying on time? Am I sincere to my shahada? Am I sincere to my zakat, my sadaqah, my sawm, my hajj? And if I am sincere towards this, then don't fear about anything. Allah will indeed protect you. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, احفظ الله تجد تجاهك. If you preserve the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the obligations, Allah will guide you. You will find your way. And if you ask for anything, you need help, you seek help, ask Allah. You know, sometimes we recite Surah Al-Fatiha in Salah every day. We say, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينَ. Ya Allah, indeed we obey only you, we worship only you, and we seek from you only, Ya Allah. But sometimes, you know, we be away in practice or in practicals in terms of what we do from what we say in Salah. You know, we say إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينَ, and then we go and we be like, oh, you know, I got so and so because of someone had evil eyes on me, or I need to find some help, I need to go and ask this person, you know, I have to rely on this person, I'm scared that if something happens to so and so, what would happen to my life? Because here you have kept tawakkul on that person and not in Allah. When you keep tawakkul in Allah, Allah will lift your status, Allah will increase your respect, you will walk on this earth honored and respected. But you keep your tawakkul on people, then you will fail definitely. And we always have to remember that if this entire ummah, if this entire world come together to help us or benefit us in some way, if Allah has not willed it, it will never ever happen, regardless of whatever they try. And the same way, if this entire world were to harm us in something, if Allah has not written, we will not be harmed. Today we find this issue where people think about evil eyes, about ayn and sihr, and they are so scared of sihr and ayn more than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ayadan billah. My dear brothers and sisters, this is a very important message, that sometimes, you know, we have seen this in cultures and places where they fear the sihr, they fear the evil eyes more than how they fear Allah. They be like, oh, you know, be careful, I got this thing harmed me, maybe because so and so had an evil eye, or this person did sihr, and this causes more corruption and fasad than anything else, because you forgot here that if Allah has written this, you get it because Allah has permitted it, and you missed your iman here. And this is where we have to be extremely careful. Sometimes, you know, when we get so much benefits, we live happily, we forget Allah. Ayadan billah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from that. We have not gotten these things and all this ni'mah and blessing except that Allah has willed for us, and we have got from that. And we always have to keep our tawakkul in Allah. You would see, whether it be in terms of your marriage, if your marriage is failing, if your relationship with your parents are failing, if your relationship with your children are failing, keep tawakkul in Allah. You married for the sake of Allah. Don't be fearful of your wife, of your husband, or would he or she leave me and go, what would happen to my life? But you be fearful of Allah and you do the right. If you are the wife, you make sure that you obey the husband because Allah has said you. If you are the husband, you make sure you be just towards your wife because Allah has said you. Likewise, if you are the child, you make sure that you obey your parents because Allah has said you. Likewise, if you are the father or if you are the mother and you're worried about your children, make dua for them and have sabr and try your best because Allah has told you, not because your respect or reputation has to be saved in front of someone. My dear brothers and sisters, this is something that we see in today's lives. The ones who genuinely live for the sake of Allah, they kept their tawakkul in Allah. We see them being successful, we see them being peace and having tranquility in life. They have sakina because they did everything for the sake of Allah, because they married for the sake of Allah, and they took care of their parents for the sake of Allah. Sometimes the parents, we take care of our children and we be like, oh, the children should take care of us back. This is wrong. We took care of our children for the sake of Allah, And if they fear Allah and for the sake of Allah, they will take care of us. And if we do something for the sake of Allah, Allah will definitely give it back to us in a better way. But if we do it for so and so, the ajr is gone, the reward is gone, and every single thing from there is gone. And on the day of Qiyamah, it will be said, go and take your reward from so and so person because you did the reward for so and so. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from the ones, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ, that we keep tawakkul in Allah. The mu'mins, the believers, they keep tawakkul in Allah, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from the ones who are the mu'mins, the mutawakkilin ala Allah.